What's going on, guys? My name is Will and welcome to PLC85. For everything new in gaming and funny reaction video, subscribe. Today we'll be reviewing Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima Legends. And this review is going to be from a gamer's point of view. Just to make you guys know, I am not a reporter, so I'm not gonna say this game is magical in the fantasy. No, I'm not doing all that nonsense. I'm just gonna get straight to the point as a gamer, and this will be for casual gamers too, and even parents that are curious if they should buy this game for their kids. So what we'll be discussing the gameplay, we'll be discussing the classes of Ghost of Tsushima, we'll be discussing the co-op, the story, and we'll give the goods and the bads. Anyway guys, let's get into it. The story is very different from Ghost of Tsushima. It's basically Japanese folktales. I've noticed a lot of Japanese folktales when the narrator is speaking to you, and by the way, the narrator is sick. It makes you feel like you're inside a Japanese movie, or a movie where the narrator talks about everything. Like there's a point where the narrator says, and then the enemy approaches, and just as he says that, you see enemy starts running in and you gotta fight the waves. So let's talk about the classes you play with. So you play with 4 different classes. You got your samurai, who's basically your tank, the hunter, which is basically your sniper, the ronin, 100% support, and the assassin. If you love Metal Gear, if you love sneaking around, the assassin is very good. I'm gonna get into their first 2 abilities. Mind you can unlock 10 more abilities as you play. For the samurai, you basically deal 3 deadly and quick damages, like really lightning fast. The secondary ability, he sucks health from his nearby opponents. The hunter, she gives 3 guarantee headshots to 3 different opponents at the same time, and her secondary ability stuns targets in the nearby area. The ronin, what he does, as I said before, the ronin is support, so he revives everybody that's fallen down on your team. And his secondary ability, he summons an animal, a dog, and yes, you can pet him. And the assassin, which it's biasly, subjectively speaking, my favorite class, he basically enters the shadows and strike enemies from a distance. So he basically, I think it's the cheapest move I've ever seen in a game. So it's kind of like the samurai's 3 quick strikes, but he teleports, and he can teleport from the bottom underground to the top of a rooftop if an enemy is on top of the rooftop. His secondary ability is to vanish, and that's very helpful, and I'll get into that later. Ghost of Tsushima Legends is a multiplayer game. You can play it solo, don't get me wrong, but it's best played as a multiplayer because I do not see you beating survival mode without a team. So the game modes that you can play is, you can play through the story, which has 10 different levels. You can play survival mode, which have 4 different levels, each difficult. I promise you, very difficult. You can play story mode in bronze, silver, and gold, and each time you can unlock different ability, different swords, different equipment, different appearances. Like there's a unnecessary amount of masks. I have 28 different masks and 29 different outfits, and even just a whirl of different swords, and also emotes and sword effects, where when you pull out your sword, it basically splats out blood or leaves from the sheet. It's very fun. Mind you, guys, this is all free. It's a free update. Sucker Punch, wow, free update. So the co-op. Is the co-op fun? The co-op is probably, the online co-op is hands down the most fun I've ever had in any online game. It is zero toxic. Like, it's not toxic at all. Like, you would enter into a match. The first match I went into, the person had a mic, and we're collaborating how to take out these enemies stealthy. We were both assassins, and we were just trying to take out all the enemies as stealthy. You do not have to play like that. You can play as aggressive or stealthy or however you choose to play. But co-op is very fun, with or without a mic. Even if you don't have a mic, you can target different things that let enemies know where you want to go, right? Or who do you want them to kill. It's best played with a mic. And there's certain times where you just randomly start playing your flute and walking down the area or bowing to your teammate, and you guys are having a really fun time. Co-op, 10 out of 10, one of the most fun co-op I've ever had. The bad thing is, if you're playing co-op and somebody randomly leaves the match, then you're stuck with a way, especially if you're not great at the game, you're stuck with a lot of enemies to take on by yourself, and it can get overwhelming at times. That's a good thing in my mind, because it shows that the game can be difficult, and I'm talking about just on bronze. I haven't played silver or gold yet. I've beaten the whole story, but I haven't played silver and gold yet in the story mode. And survival, good luck, because I've played 4-player survival, and I did it on my first attempt. We did it on our first attempt, but it was very difficult. Each class, it's best to play with each different class, because each class is very useful in a bad situation. And another bad thing that I find, which the team Sucker Punch has admit that they're going to work on it, they're going to try to fix the issue, is that you get this error NW311948, and that basically tells you that your internet is not basically working. It'll pop up, I'm sure on this review that I'm doing, it popped up like 3 times. In my gameplay, it popped up probably 20 times or more. It can be annoying, because you'll be in a fight and then it randomly pops up, and then you gotta press circle really quick to get it out. And it's really annoying. It didn't affect my internet, but I don't know how it's affecting others. So that's the only negative thing that they're gonna fix, and Sucker Punch admits that, look, we realize what the problem is. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give it my overall quick synopsis. I'm gonna give it a quick review and how I feel as a gamer playing this. Now, this is me ranting, guys. This is me just giving you off the cuff, not scripted, like I normally don't do my reviews or anything. Guys, as a gamer, I'm not trying to sell you something. Please understand, I am not IGN, I am not these different companies that are trying to sell you something. Guys, I'm not a reporter, I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer first. So what I'm about to tell you is from a gamer's perspective, and I'm gonna be wickedly honest. This Legends is the best update in a game ever. I have never, as a gamer, personally speaking, subjectively speaking, ever experienced an update this fun, this amazing, with all the skins and story and survivals. And from what I'm seeing with the story, because I don't want to spoil the story, it looks like they're gonna give you more, like season 1, season 2, season 3. Like, they're gonna give you more, because the story ended on a cliffhanger. So far, I've only played the bronze missions, but from what I've played, it looks like it left you on a cliffhanger. Sucker Punch outdid themselves, and if other developers can learn from this, we would have a lot more. They focused on their game. Sucker Punch literally focused on their game. They literally focused on us, the gamers. They didn't care about making money, because they figured that the game that they sold you was gonna make them enough money. They could have did this with a lot of microtransactions, and you would have still been happy to pay for it. They did not. It is game of the century for me. Game of the century. This is the best DLC update. Not DLC, update. My apologies. Update. It feels like DLC. It's the best update I have ever played in my life. My wickedly honest score for this game, my gamer score, is a 9 out of 10. And the only reason I gave it a 9 out of 10 is because of the error that occurred. Right? You know what? I'll go so far as give it a 9.5 out of 10. It is literally the best update for a game of this class I have ever played in my entire life. And just to give you an understanding, the very first game I played was Pong. I've tried my best to play every game out there possible. I've been playing video games, guys, from the conception of video games, from the feel of having them bring back a game that you pay for and then you unlock yourself is an amazing feeling, where they don't try to push down microtransactions and making you pay for this or pay for skins. Everything you can customize, everything, every emote, every mask, every customization, every sword, everything, guys, is free. Like, if Sucker Punch decides to charge you for anything, I promise you everybody will buy it and wouldn't even blink twice about it because of the amazing content. So if Sucker Punch were to, a gamer's perspective now, if Sucker Punch with Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and we're focusing on Legends here, Ghost of Tsushima, if Sucker Punch makes DLC, expect amazing content. Because if they can give you all of this for free after you purchase the game, all these updates free, imagine what they're working on DLC. Guys, my name is Will. This was my wickedly honest review of Ghost of Tsushima Legends. And don't forget, guys, where there's a will, there's a way. Thank you, Sucker Punch. Game of the century. Score 9.5 out of 10.